Hello guys and welcome back to the F1 Tube YouTube channel and welcome to my 2019 Belgian Grand Prix qualifying review. And there are multiple things that I need to dig into as the qualifying sessions that was played out today was very intriguing. But one man really dominated from start to finish, and that was Charles Leclerc, using the Ferrari speed to his advantage and just throwing every bit of potential he had onto the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. He had his teammate Sebastian Vettel in his pocket, 7/10 of a second. That is a mammoth margin. Lewis gave Seb a run for his money, but he will have to settle for P3 with Valtteri Bottas P4. Max Verstappen was neglected in P5 with the two Renaults of Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg 6th and 7th, with Raikkonen, Perez and Magnussen rounding out the top 10. Then completing the field we have Grosjean in 11th, Norris in 12th, then we have Stroll, Albon, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Sainz, Kvyat, Russell and Kubica. Let's start off with Ferrari, who have secured a front row lockout, and it is Charles Leclerc who took a very dominant pole position at the end of the day. He destroys Sebastian Vettel. Vettel bemoans a very scruffy session, especially on his second run, but Leclerc has just had him in his pocket from start to finish. On one lap pace, that Ferrari is just excellent, but in terms of race pace, this is going to get very tasty because Mercedes definitely have laid down a marker for race pace. But for Ferrari, it is a great way to go into tomorrow's Grand Prix. After his big crash in FP3, Lewis Hamilton bounced back in qualifying with a third place finish, which I think he can be satisfied with. It's probably the best he could have achieved today, and considering how close he was to Sebastian Vettel, it was a decent day at the office for Lewis Hamilton. But of course, the crash in practice just takes away from what has been a good day for Lewis Hamilton, and when you crash in free practice, it does take a while for drivers to settle in. You have to change your driving philosophy at that certain corner, obviously where Lewis Hamilton crashed at the start of the mini S's, but he got into the groove, and that is what great drivers do, and he secured that third place and has a very big chance to extend his championship lead tomorrow. And on Valtteri Bottas, meh. Like I said, Max Verstappen was neglected in P5. He had nowhere near enough pace to challenge Ferrari and Mercedes, but he did have enough pace to stay ahead of the midfield and on Alex Albon. He's obviously starting from the back tomorrow, so there was no point running further than Q2. Renault have been the surprises of qualifying, P6 and P7, but the most frustrating thing is they've got to start from the rear of the grid tomorrow after taking new engine penalties for both Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg. On the drivers, Ricciardo has just had the edge over his German teammate throughout the weekend. It was a mixed day for Alfa Romeo. Giovinazzi's engine blew up, well, it seemed like it was his engine, blew up at the end of Q1. That meant he couldn't participate in Q2 as he did enough to qualify for it, so it kind of halted what could have been a promising day for Giovinazzi, and Kimi Raikkonen used his Spa mastery to secure a P8 finish. Haas were competitive today. I don't think they had anywhere near the quickest car in the midfield, but they obviously got a car into Q3, and Romain Grosjean will have a free set of tyres to start the race for tomorrow. And considering that they will both start in the top 10 after other drivers will receive penalties, Haas can definitely score points tomorrow unless they have one of their horrific race days, which has really been indicative of the team this season. Racing Points have had really strong pace this weekend, and in qualifying they didn't quite maximise it, and I think they will be a bit disheartened, but Sergio Perez in P9, a very good day for the Mexican, and Lance Stroll in P13. I mean, the guy is just no master at qualifying, is he? I wouldn't say McLaren's strengths come alive at Spa. I don't think that the McLaren car is very well suited to power circuits, but then again they were strong in Austria. But anyway, not the greatest day for McLaren, and to be honest, this whole weekend hasn't been the greatest for them either. Lando Norris P12 put a very good lap in actually to be competitive in Q2, and Carlos Sainz was caught out in Q1 after Giovinazzi's failure, so he missed out on a Q2 appearance. Toro Rosso. I don't think they've had a lot of pace this weekend. Kvyat will be taking a grid penalty, I believe, for tomorrow, and Gasly didn't have the greatest pace today, but at least for some confidence for him, he has outqualified his teammates. And of course, last we have Williams. Another dismal day for the team, really. Robert Kubica's engine went up in a mass of flames, it can only be put. At the start of Q1, he was out, and George Russell just does not have the car to challenge the midfield. After Sergio Perez's engine failure yesterday and now Kubica's engine failure today, that is definitely a concern for Mercedes. What's going to happen to their engines tomorrow? But then again, the temperatures are expected to be a lot cooler for the Grand Prix. Now, as there are a collection of these, let's have a look at the drivers taking engine penalties. Now, Danny Rick, Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz are taking 5th-place grid penalties, so not the worst for the Renault drivers. And then for 15th-place grid penalties, we have Alex Albon, Lance Stroll and Daniil Kvyat. And when I look at this list, you can kind of concede that maybe these drivers weren't given their all, especially Lance Stroll and Carlos Sainz in today's qualifying sessions. Before I go, guys, I need to let you know that my race review will be out a little bit later, and will probably most likely be out on Monday, as I have other stuff to do and it just collides really, and I need to watch the race to obviously give a race review, and I still want to do the race review, so it will be out a little bit later opposed to my trademark early uploads. But guys, that is it for today's video. Please like this video, comment down below what you thought of today's qualifying sessions and my video, and please subscribe to the F1 Tube YouTube channel. I honestly want to get to 100 subscribers in the foreseeable future, and I feel that we can do it, so it will very much be appreciated. But until next time guys, see you later.